So here's a simple face that's facing forward, and to create this face I basically drew 5 different lines. First was the midline, the second was the nose line, the third was the chin line, and the fourth was the hairline. And the spaces between these lines are more or less the same. And then I divided the face into two equal parts with a vertical line. And the left side and the right side of the face are basically symmetrical, so it wasn't very hard to draw. So this is very straightforward. But let's say you want to draw something that is not this straightforward. Let's say you want to draw a face that's facing in a different angle. Like let's say it's facing a bit left or up or down. How do you draw that? Well, let me show you how. So here's the first reference that I will be using. The face is facing sidewards. We are facing a 3x4 view of the face. And I will draw the same lines on this face that I did for the previous face. So let me draw the lines. So the first is the midline, so I will draw the midline. The second is the nose line, third is the chin line, and the fourth is the hairline. And you see that I did the same thing. I drew these lines, but there is something different here. And the difference between this and the previous one that I showed is that the lines in here are actually converging. That means if you were to extend these lines, they will converge at one point. And that happens because of perspective. So if you know anything about perspective, you will know that as things go farther away from us, they seem to look smaller. And the same thing will happen to this face too. The left eye is farther away from us from the right eye. The left eye will look a little smaller than the left eye. And that's why these lines are converging. And that's important because if you mess this up, you will mess up the face. And then now let's draw the center line, which is the line that divides the face into two equal parts. And at this angle, it will be a bit curved like this. And to draw a center line at this angle, what you need to do is you need to connect 3 points: the middle of the chin, this point on the nose where the nose meets the skull, and the center of the forehead. If you connect these lines with a curve, you get your center line. Okay, so now let's try to draw this. Okay, so to create the face, the first thing that I'm going to do is draw a circle. And make sure that your circle is at least decent and not wobbly, or you will mess up the face. Okay, so now that I have the circle, I'm going to draw the midline first. And if I look at the reference, the midline is not straight, it goes at an angle, something like this. So this is my midline. The next is the nose line, which is fairly straight, something like this, and then chin line. So before I draw the center line, I will first connect these 3 lines with curved line like this. Basically, it connects the corner of the eyebrows to the corner of the chin, and then I will create the jaw. And now I will draw the center line. The center line is going to be a little curved, and it connects the center of the forehead to the center of the chin. And then I will draw 2 circles for the placement of the eyes. Now I will give an indication for the nose. Nothing too complicated, a simple indication would be enough, and a line to indicate the mouth. Okay, so this is my guide. I will reduce the opacity, create a new layer, and draw the face on top of this. So the first, I will create the forehead, and at this angle the forehead goes inwards and then it comes outwards, and this is what creates the cheekbones. And then I will connect this with the chin and create the jaw. Now all I have to do is just finish this drawing. Okay, so this is how you draw the face in 3x4 view. Now let's look at a different angle. Okay, so here's a face from bottom view, and these kind of angles can be pretty challenging to draw, but once you know how to do it, it gets pretty easy. Okay, so let me first draw the lines. First, I will start with the midline, which is somewhere here, the nose line, chin line, and the hairline. So because the face is at an angle, the lines will converge. But there's another difference that you can see here, and that is the spaces between these lines are not actually equal. And if you remember the thing about perspective, that as things go farther away from us, they become smaller. So this area is farther away from us than this area. That means this area will be smaller than this area. And this knowledge is important when you're creating faces that is facing upwards or downwards. Okay, so now let's draw the face. Okay, so I will start this face again with a circle, and then I will draw the midline. But the difference here is that the midline is not actually in the middle now. It has shifted upwards. Because we are looking the face from a bottom view, all the lines, the midline, the hairline, the nose line, and the chin line have moved upwards. And the areas between these lines are of course not the same. The area between the nose line and the chin line is greater than the area between the nose line and the midline. And then again, I will connect the 3 lines with a curve and then draw the jaw. I will indicate the nose, draw circles for the eyes, and a line for the mouth, and then reduce the opacity and draw the face on top. And this is how we create a face from the bottom view. And the same logic will apply when you're drawing a face from the top view. The only difference is that all the lines will now move downwards, and the area between the hairline and the midline will be larger than the area between the nose line and the chin line. And that's basically it. This is how you draw faces in different angles. Of course, it's not easy as it seems, but with enough practice, you will get the hang of it. You need to learn to draw every single features of the face from different angles. The eyes, the nose, and the mouth. So this is it for this video. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.